It's time for a little road trip. I'm headed off on the road and I've got quite a few hours of driving ahead of me, but I'm looking forward to heading out, and I'm driving the GMC Acadia. This is the 2022 GMC Acadia AT4. It's a mid-size SUV with lots of power, tons of features, and it's one of the most comfortable drives whether you're going around the block or across a few provinces. The SUV features a powerful V6 engine, it's surprisingly good on gas for its size, and it's so comfortable with lots of room to spare. The Acadia AT4 has a heads-up display, heated mirrors, ventilated and heated seats, great leather trim, and a fantastic infotainment system that includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I also love the dual skylights, all the storage, the great atmosphere controls, and so much more. It seats up to 6 people with an extra row at the back, or you can stow the back row to make room for lots of luggage. No one is going to feel cramped in this SUV, and it's easy to sit back and relax, especially with the available Wi-Fi hub for streaming. And yes, it's a great drive. Alright, I've got the car packed and I'm headed out. I've got a lot of driving today, probably 7 or 8 hours of driving depending on traffic, and then I have a stop in Quebec City, and then I'm off to New Brunswick. So I'm spending the next few days traveling around New Brunswick. I'm doing Fredericton and Saint John, and then doing a little road trip back through the States a little bit, and then back to Toronto. So here we go. Just a little stop for a rest break and to do an interview, and then back on the road. But I do love the Quebec rest stops, I have to say. But it's not as scenic the other way, except for the car. It's like I've arrived in New Brunswick and suddenly it's sunny. There's not a lot of expectation for sun while I'm in New Brunswick, but I am pretty happy to see a little sun while I drive through the top of the province. This is amazing. This whole road trip, the GMC Acadia AT4, it's been phenomenal. I've got it in 2-wheel drive mode right now because I don't really feel like I need 4-wheel drive on very good roads right now. There's no ice or snow or sleet or hail, but the handling is great. The performance is good. It has so much energy. It's got power. You know, you hit the engine and it goes. It's fantastic. Great braking distance, good turning radius. But the other thing I love is the console and the whole like entertainment system. I've been using all of it. It connects to my phone, so I can use Android Auto, and that means that I can play Spotify through it. It also means that I'm able to get to my maps easily. I do love the heads-up display. That's something that a lot of cars have brought to vehicles the last few years. I think it makes it super easy that I'm not staring down here at the dash. I can always just be looking up and see where I'm at. So it's 146 kilometers to Fredericton now, and that means I'll arrive around 2:43. Again, a feature here, the maps are amazing. The car is connected to the internet, so it's updating to let me know if there's traffic. It also will suggest alternate routes if there's issues on a route. That's not really an issue in New Brunswick, but in Montreal it was very handy, and it suggested alternate routes, and pops up here and quickly tells you that there's an option for quicker route. You can just select it if you want to go ahead, or you can ignore it otherwise. But I can talk to the assistant and ask for, you know, anything, directions. It's been taking notes for me in places where I've needed to take notes so that I can remember things from the drive. You know, there's everything in there, and that's an amazing feature. Android Auto has gotten so much better, but it does come down to how good the car system is, and it has lots of features. I can get into my calendar, I can even get into Google Chat. There's other certain apps that are readily available there. I mean, it's impressive. You can even set reminders and things. And then on top of that, the system has Sirius XM built in, and I have to tell you, I mean, I use Spotify for long drives, but I love Sirius XM for road trips because there's just something a lot, you know, it's live. You're usually listening to some sort of show, there's someone hosting a program. It feels like you're not just alone in your car driving. So, you know, through the city, and when it's anxious driving, maybe when it's bumper to bumper occasionally, I put on something slower, folk music. There's Coffee House. I listen to all the comedy stations. Another great diversion when I'm driving, I find that I'll put on Comedy Central is one of my favorites. Netflix's Joke Radio is fantastic. You know, I'm driving right now in a place where most of the radio stations are either French, or the talk radio right now, or there's nothing else. So there's only 1 or 2 stations in this area, and so if I want to switch it up, I flip through the Sirius XM. If I had a way of doing this, I would. And yes, I bought lots of chips. $30 worth of chips, worth every penny. My first stop in New Brunswick after Covered Bridge potato chips was Fredericton, the capital city of the province. And it's just such a beautiful historic city. I grew up not far from here, and I haven't been back in a while. And it's really great rediscovering it and seeing how the city has changed. There's a lot to do in the area, from restaurants, cafes, wineries, and breweries, to hiking, biking, history, art, and shopping. I even stopped at the Muse to have a flight of lattes. For 2 days, I explored the city again, and I even had the chance to check out the Lord Beaverbrook Art Gallery after many years away. After that, I had to get back on the road again, and my family and I went to Saint John, New Brunswick's most vibrant, diverse, and interesting city. There is so much to do in Saint John, and we spent it outside a lot of the time, hiking Rockwood Park, where fall had just started to arrive. Rockwood Park is huge, and there's a lot to see and do there. We ended up stopping to feed the birds and the squirrels, who were so excited and noisy. Then we went to the stunning and historic Saint John Market in Uptown, where you can find treats, gifts, and of course seafood, in Canada's oldest continually running farmers market. Across town, we explored the Irving Nature Park, and it was a cloudy weekend for the most part, but we had a great time, and we saw so many animals that we lost count, including a porcupine, deer, red and gray squirrels, and lots of birds, as well as a few runners and hikers. We came down to Irving Nature Park, and we've had a little bit of a walk down here. It's so windy because the storm just came through last night, Fiona, and it's pretty rough on the East Coast, but Saint John just had a bunch of damaged trees and things. But it was actually a nice time to come down here to Irving Nature Park. The park looks pretty well undisturbed from the storm. There's a few trees down and stuff, but nothing bad. But it's a wonderful walk down here. We've been in the forest, and then we came down here and walked the beach, and it's such a great spot. And that's it for my East Coast road trip. My family and I have had a great trip. It's been amazing. I cannot say enough about Fredericton and Saint John. I've explored them before, but not as well as I did this trip. I feel like I really got to see a lot more. My family had a blast. We enjoyed every speck of it. And thanks so much to GMC Canada for the time with the Acadia AT4. Let me know if you have any questions or would like to know more about the car or the trip, and stay tuned for all my videos from my trip out east to the sea.